So it's Christmas Day, and I thought I'll just continue on with this build since the paint seems to have cured more or less. So what I did is I temporarily hot glued the body to the frame I'm using. That way, so I can make sure it's properly centered. I'm using the popsicle stick mounts I did on that I made initially for the original body, and that's how the body's held on for right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these rare earth magnets, about 6 I believe, two per each side and somewhere at the top here, and I'm going to make it so the body can be magnetically removed and attached instead of just hot glued like it currently is. So what I need to do now is I need to figure out where exactly I'm going to mount these magnets in the body, and then get the whole get all that set up properly. So I'll come back in a bit. And this is how I'm going to do the magnet system. I have 2 magnets, one in each little piece of foam board as so, which you can see on this piece, pretty much like so. And I have them basically facing each other so they basically attract. And I have one right here in the front, and I'm going to place this one somewhere here on the side, and I'm going to do the same thing for on the other side here. But you can kind of get the general idea of how this is going to work, to where it's just attached on by some fairly decent rare earth magnets. So I'm going to finish up the placement for the magnets, and I will come back. Alright, now I got everything set up, and everything's now screwed in except the back. That's just held in by a friction fit. I will eventually screw the back part in, but that's not going to happen towards sometime next year towards the convention, since I'll still be working on this thing most likely by then. But I got all the magnets properly set up and held in, and all I gotta do now is that if I want to put this body on, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but at least the body is now magnetized, so it's a lot more easier to work with. I'm still in the process of learning how to properly attach this body whenever I remove it and whatnot. What's stopping it? Oh, I see what's stopping it. Alright, and just like that, the body is now magnetically attached to the roll cage that the original car body was on. That way, so if I want to do any repairs or anything, I can just simply pop the body off without having to go through the whole process of removing the body and whatnot. So now all I gotta do now is just see how this thing drives around outside. And since I don't really want to show this thing driving around until I get the LEDs installed, I'll stop the video here and I'll come back when I get all the LEDs properly installed. Or at least show how I'm going to install them and whatnot. Again, I need to wait to get the LEDs, and that's not going to happen to the beginning of next year, basically. So this video will definitely be coming out on probably like the 2nd or 3rd, maybe 4th of next year. Depending on when I can get some LEDs, it might even come off. This video might even come out 2 weeks after New Year's. Again, it's all depending on how quickly I can get some LEDs. I'm thinking I'll have this thing up and running by the end of today, which is Christmas. So as you can tell, I masked off the back end so I can attach the LEDs. I actually found both red and white LEDs. Here are the white ones. Those white ones are going to be going in the middle. I'm fairly certain I got a few white ones for the top section right here. But I'm currently waiting for the hot glue for this to dry so I can go in there and do more proper seaming a little bit. And as you may know, I have it masked off. I was initially going to do something different, but I remembered I watched this guy's video here. If it wasn't for him commenting on the original video I uploaded, I wouldn't know to do this. Because if I actually go to his video, he uses a smaller 3D printed version compared to what I do. But his tactic for LEDs is basically what I'm doing right now. He's the first one that came up with it, to where he masks off an area where he wants to put hot glue, and then he just gobs the crap out of the area with hot glue, and then when it's all dry, you just pull off the masking tape and you get a nice clean area to work with. So again, if it wasn't for this guy's video and him commenting on my original video, I wouldn't know to actually do this. I'll probably end up screwing up the paint job I did on my car. So again, massive shout outs to this guy here. If the autofocus will work, that would be nice. Give me a second. There we go. Once again, I had to beat my fucking phone to get the autofocus to work. It's also interesting, I keep seeing all other YouTube videos of people building cuck trucks. I'm going to see how this guy's cuck truck body came out. Because mine's still, as you can tell, in the works. Well, it looks a little uglier than I initially was hoping for, but hopefully at least at nighttime it'll look a little bit better than this. So, yeah, I guess I should now get the headlights put together. Problem is I don't have enough wire. So I might actually not be able to finish this off today. So it's actually the next day. I had to go and redo the wiring because the LEDs on the back were taking up way too much power on the original setup I had. And the white LEDs in the front would refuse to turn on. So I had to go in there and do a double system, which you really can't see right here, but I have but basically I have to plug in both front and back wires, front and back lights into their own power source. But at least it's now working. The only other problem I have now is that it's not actually going the way I want, so I might need to add in some more LEDs throughout to get the proper look. But for right now, at least everything does turn on and whatnot. It's a bit foggy outside, but I guess I can go outside and drive around for a bit. I might go in there and just completely have a separate power system for the LEDs since they're pretty dim in daylight. But at least I can show what it drives like. I mean, it's going to drive like the original setup did, but it's just going to look like a stupid cuck truck. Again, I bought this thing specifically for its pulling capabilities, not its speed. But the cuck truck body makes it just look a little bit more stupid. I guess now the only thing I gotta do is figure out the trailer hitch for this thing to tow Congo around at my local anime convention. I don't have to worry about that though for at least a few months. So for right now, I'm just going to end the video, upload it, and call this thing more or less done, even though I gotta do the LEDs at the very top of the windscreen. That can be done off camera because this thing's pretty much done. Clean off the body, make sure the grass and wetness didn't destroy the paint job. And then just put this thing away for a few months and come back to it sometimes towards spring of next year when I actually really need to start really figuring everything else out for this.